Vinny. Today is Vinny's Promise. Vinny, you are a survivor. You are here with us to celebrate this day. It's an important day for all of us and for many in the community that stood behind you. We are in a new phase. Tell us about your ordeal. Tell us about it.
I think it's important not to forget this isn't something for me. This is something where I had stage 4 cancer. I had a lot of prayers. And one of the prayers, while I was in prayer, I spoke to the Lord and I said, if you give me one opportunity, if you give me one more chance at life, if you spare me, I will do whatever I can to help someone else in need. And that's what this event is about. God spared me. So now it's about that 7-year-old boy over there, about the 10-year-old girl that's here. 100% of what we raise today is going to these children that are in need.
So, Vinny, I continue to wish you a happy recovery. You and everyone that is going through the same things as you did. Now, let's see if you have any words for us, that young man there.
It was a hard time during this, but he fought hard and we did.
And Ru, if I can, one more thing. It's so hard to get through chemotherapy, to get through surgeries. I had multiple surgeries over 12 months. But having a support group and having my wife, Jamie, beside me, who's sometimes my attorney, sometimes my doctor, sometimes my nurse, always my best friend. And she was right there fighting alongside me. These two little guys, they helped me get dressed. They helped me put my shoes on. They helped me put my socks on. And these guys mean the world to me. So, thank you.
So, Vinny, you are an inspiration to many people. And I hope people are watching this, because you can beat this.
Certainly can. And look, again, this isn't about me. And even putting this together, okay, I put it together. But all these people, all 600-700 people that will show up tonight, they're the ones that did this. And that's Yonkers, that's this community coming together for other people.
Well, Vinny, thank you for making this happen. And I'm sure that the community are watching, and we're standing behind you and behind everybody who survived this thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ru. Thank you, Ru.
I wanna die. So to what to go, I'm
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The pledge will be offered by Jared and led by Jared Kinnear. All right, Jared, you ready to go? Ready? I pledge allegiance
I pledge allegiance to the flag
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jared. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. With a common cause. We are all friends of Vinny Spano. And if you look around this room, you can see that Vinny Spano has lots of friends. You know, you come here tonight, we are all part of a team. We're now part of a team called Vinny Promise. And we'll talk more about that shortly as to how that came to fruition and the genesis of it. But to get started on a right note, we're going to have an invocation. Father, by Father of St. Eugene's Church here in Yonkers.
All right, everybody. Let's stand one more time, please, for prayer. Perfect. Just to be clear, very important, just to be clear, it is not God's will. Cancer is not part of God's will. What is God's will is this evening. And everybody that's gathered here this evening, that's part of God's will, the goodness that comes from it. So let's please begin. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with heavy hearts, yet full of hope, lifting up to you the precious children who are battling cancer. Lord, you are the author of life, the great physician, and the source of all healing. In your infinite mercy and love, we ask you to pour out your divine strength upon these little ones who are fighting this difficult battle. Father, you see their pain, their fear, their suffering. You know every cell in their bodies, every struggle they face, and every tear they shed. We ask you, Lord, that you touch them with your healing hand. Let your power flow through their bodies, restoring what is broken and removing what is harmful. Lord, when they are weary, be their strength.
All right, so first, good evening, Yonkers. Good evening. Wait a second. I know we're all friends of Vinny, and this is Vinny's Promise. So let's give it up again for our man, Vinny Spano, pulling all of this together. Vinny, I was talking to your brother. You got old brothers here. The man sitting right next to me. And I was talking to Senator Spano for a second, and he said to me, I'm like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of ways that Spanos do things and bringing everyone together. And tonight, for Vinny's Promise, you know, from 2024, when he has his diagnosis, and now he works through the battle, and he's fighting through the fire. He's there with his wife, Jamie, right beside him, and the team all around him. The Spano family brings him together. His friends and family in this room come together. Because at the end of the day, Vinny made a promise. And that promise was to give back to the community, to make sure that people that were struggling, he had a big family around him. Some of them are here. There's only 1,200 of those folks here tonight, right? There's only 1,200 of those friends. The rest of them at the Knicks parade. But the reality is that Vinny took that time to make sure to give back. And give it up for our young people right here. I didn't see everyone bopping their heads to the Sam's free mind. But if you get a chance, make sure you listen to those words and go backwards and see about that kind of time. And that's why it's so important that we're all here this evening and being able to support Vinny's Promise, to make sure that families don't have to go through the same kind of struggles alone. And because of what Vinny's doing tonight, it's going to make a tremendous difference to thousands of families around. So I know that all of us together are saying to Vinny, we're so proud of you. Because it is not easy to take your mess and make it your message. You are leading that way. Congratulations, my brother. I really am so proud of everything that you're doing. And all of us in Vinny's Promise, making sure that we're going to be able to move forward together and make a difference. Congratulations, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce those elected and former elected officials that have joined us this evening. Of course, Vinny's brother, the mayor of the city of Yonkers, Mayor Mike Spano. Former state senator, Nick Spano. We have with us this evening minority leader from the Yonkers City Council, Mike Breed. Yonkers City Councilmember Tasha Diaz. Yonkers City Councilmember Tim Hodges. District Attorney Susan Case. County Legislator James Gold. County Legislator David Tuliella. New York State Assemblyman Nader Say. Councilmember and Minority Whip Deanna Norman. Yonkers City Court Judge Alexandra Pazadian. And the next person that I need to introduce is more than just an elected official. The truth is, he's one of Vinny's closest friends. The Yonkers City Council Majority Leader, John Rudolph. John, please come up to the podium.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. So I wanted to write a few things down tonight. And I started with saying that we have over 600 people that walked in the door, but then the fire commissioner is here. So we really only have 250, Commissioner. I think we're safe. But we did. We truly had more than 600 people walk through the door tonight. And they didn't have to. They chose to. That's not a crowd. That's a powerful statement for why we're here tonight. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you on behalf of everyone who worked so tirelessly to make this night happen. Because nothing like this gets pulled together overnight. It took planning, relentless phone calls, favors asked and a lot of favors granted, and the countless hours that went quietly without the credit. Because for tonight, the only thing that really mattered is that we got here. And we got here together tonight. So to every single person in this room, please give yourselves a huge, huge round of applause. Now, Vinny's going to come up, and we're all going to just take a little bit of what Vinny's Promise is. But really, that's up for Vinny to tell you his story, to tell you what Vinny's Promise is really all about. And I'm not going to take that moment from him, but I'll tell you this. Cancer, it touches each and every single one of us. And it's touched each and every single one of us in this room. Now, your story might be a little bit different than the person that's sitting next to you. Your battle a little harder, or theirs even more difficult. But the one thing that we all share is that we know what this feels like, for this disease to reach out and to shake our lives to the core. And that is what brought every single one of us here tonight. Now, I met Vinny Spano in the early 2000s. I was working for a former mayor, and he was working for the city clerk, and we met each other in the hallway. And we paid attention to the same things that we both had in common, especially our love for this city. And over the last decade, Vinny and I have become more genuine friends. And when this fight began, I had a front row seat. We will never really know the pain that Vinny endured. We'll never really know that agony. We'll never know what kept him up at night. But what I witnessed, and what many of you witnessed, I'll tell you this clearly. I saw raw strength from someone. I saw raw strength from this man. I saw iron determination. I watched a man whose mind was made up from day one when he first told us his diagnosis. He was not going to lose, and that was never on the table for him. And that's really what this promise was all about. A promise to himself, a promise to his family, and a promise to God. I saw him during those treatments, like many of you, and we sat, we laughed, and we joked. We saw him after surgeries. And he refused sometimes even to take a painkiller. It was just Tylenol. And he endured that, and he willed himself here today. It was that sheer force, that sheer spirit. After surgery, after surgery, after surgery, he kept coming back. And it's that same force, fierce, that we see in his eyes tonight. And tonight, we're here for Vinny's Promise. But we're also here to celebrate our friend, our brother, our cousin. And he has a lot of brothers and sisters. But we're here to celebrate Vinny Spano. We're here to celebrate Jamie Spano, Little Vinny, and Nico. For as much devotion as he gave to them, they were his strength right back. And so, we're here for every young person in this room tonight who's quietly fighting their own fight. So that they know the community that has come together for Vinny. And that they know that this same Yonkers community is here for them. So, fight with that same determination, and Yonkers will all do it together. It's my pleasure and honor to now introduce a friend and one of Vinny's many brothers, our great mayor, Mayor Mike Spano. Woo!
Let's give it up for John Rubo. Give it up for Gus Hayes and his band. Gus, thank you. Give it up for our Yonkers kids, especially Laura. Thank you for bringing them here for us today. I thought about what I might say today, and I really couldn't get much written down. Because how do you write about your little brother? I
I still remember where I was when we got that text saying that Vinny was in St. John's Hospital, and they had said that he had cancer. It's a tough day for all of us. I thank God my mother was in heaven to look over him, because she would have been crazy if she was here, especially her baby. We all know Vinny is a little spoiled. You know, many of you know my brothers and sisters, started with my big brother, Vinny Spano. It's a lot of big personalities here. And you gotta make a lot of noise if you want to be heard, especially in a tribe like this. And that's one of the things I love most about my little brother, Vinny. He had to make the most noise. What a big personality he has. Always has, always will. But it was growing up and playing hockey, and we wanted to play hockey. I know you guys hear me talk about this. You know, we were playing in the men's league, and we had a little brother, Vinny, who was 14, who should not be playing in the men's league, that was 18 and older. And, we're going to put him in anyway. And within a year, he was the second leading scorer in the league. He was 15, and then they figured out he was too young, and they wanted to kick him off the team, only because he was scoring all the goals. It's a true story, Ron. And it was always so much fun to say to Vinny, you know, this goalie's starting to annoy us. You need to take him out. Now, back then, you could take a goalie out, too. Sorry, but to my boys, they're goaltenders. Now you can't do that. But it was that personality that he had, because he was able to take his personality and grow and be an inspiration to each and every one of us. Listen, when we found out he had cancer, this was devastating to the core for every single one of us, whether it was my brothers, my sisters, my nieces and nephews, great nieces and nephews. It was Vinny. Vinny's our star. Vinny's the guy that is always going to be there, is always going to be funny, is always going to tell you what you need, who's always going to be there to have your back. There are times he had my back, there are times he's had a lot of our back. And he's not afraid to, drop the gloves either. So, just once in a while, like I used to say, Ben, you could watch my back from back here, not up here. That's the way he was. He always wanted to be in the thick of things. And I knew that when he talked about Vinny's promise, his promise wasn't just to the kids that we'll talk about. His promise was to Jamie. His promise was to his 15 brothers and sisters. His promise was to his mom and dad in heaven that, you know what, God damn it, I know I have cancer, I know I have a fight, but I'm going to win. And I want to make sure that everyone is with me and everyone knows that I'm not going down without a fight. And he did. Turned it around just like you would expect. This year, who knows, he might play hockey again this year. I'm a little worried he might, but you never know. So, it's great to be here. It's great to be celebrating my little brother, his promise kept to us, to his family, and to each and every one of you, and someone that will and has and will continue to inspire each and every one of us through his actions, because you know what? Actions do speak louder than words. And God doesn't give you anything more than you can't handle, and he has handled it like a champ. He's made it all work. Do me a favor. Give it up again for my little brother, Vinny Spano. Come on, Vinny. Let me say thank you to each and every one for your support, for your contributions today, and for being here today. Many of you in the room, some of our friends, are battling this cancer. And we want you to know that we are with you, beside you, every step of the way. And we're going to continue to raise money, raise awareness, until there's a cure. God bless you all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mayor, and let me just say that before I say a few words, just say that when Vinny was born, it was the year I first got married, and it took him about 4 or 5 years to realize that I was actually his brother. He thought I was his uncle. He had no idea who I was until after that. Let me just say a little thank you to the Enrico Fermi Choir. You know, they're sitting here. Every one of you, at some point in your life, are going to say, you know, we sat at a magnificent event. We listened to a lot of people speak. We weren't happy sitting on these hard steps, but we want to say thank you to all of you because you're here. And they did such a great job. We want to hear from them again. Please welcome the Enrico Fermi Choir. And I want to say it's my privilege to introduce him. And it's my little nephew, Vinny. And I'll tell you, come on up, Vinny. I'm going to say these nice things about him. You know, well, he's 12 years old. He's 12 years old, and he showed the courage of so many that faced the uncertainty of what was going to happen. He had a heart of a lion. A leader, similar to the way he plays hockey. And he's going to introduce his dad. And I must say that, you know, as the mayor said, you know, there are 16 of us, and you count 16 times our partners and our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. Comes, I think, to about 108 immediate family. And it's unthinkable that when, as the mayor said, when we got a phone call that early morning, that it's not supposed to be our baby brother that's facing that challenge. It's not supposed to be the strongest person in the family who is facing the challenge. But tonight, Vinny's Promise is raising money for young fighters who are facing a similar challenge. So as we're all here, we celebrate hope. We celebrate resilience, and we celebrate our future. And please join me in welcoming our future, my nephew, Vinny Spano.
Hello everyone, my name is Vinny. I'm really proud to introduce my dad. Most people know him as Vinny Spano, but to me and my brother, he's just Dad. Over the over the last couple of years, we saw how strong he really is. Even when he was sick, he still came to our hockey games. He still yelled like crazy from the stands and still tried to make everything feel normal for us. Even when it was hard, he still showed up. Cancer might have taken some things from him for a little while, like his hair and some of his strength, but it never took his spirit and never took his will. But now he's back and stronger than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my dad.
Don't stand for me, stand for each other. Because you guys did this, not me. You guys showed up for people you have no idea, you don't even know. You guys did that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again, thank you. Look around this room. We have 600 people that were seated in here. We have over 700 people that came in here today. And that says everything about the kind of people we have here tonight. People showing up for families who need strength and support. And before anything else, how about my little boy here, Vinny? I couldn't do that when I was 11. I have a hard time doing it now, by the way. And maybe he's 11, not 12. And I'll start with that. My boys, Nico and Vinny, who, all right, I'll tell you something else. I read this speech to Vinny a couple weeks ago, right? And at the end, I said, "What you think?" He said, "Dad, that was really good, but you just need to practice it without crying." And every time I practice it, I cry. So I was talking to my brother Nick today, I said, and John, I said, every time I do it, I cry. So if I do, I'm sorry, I feel it. But to Vinny and Nico, who had to hear a lot more than they probably should have, and seen, they helped me so much more than helping me put my socks on when I couldn't do that. They helped me in ways they could never, ever, ever imagine. I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you. I want to thank my brothers and my sisters, my nieces and nephews, all my friends, and my sister-in-law. Abby, she made me chicken cutlets every week. Every single week. And Johnny was complaining because the price of eggs was too much. She still made it. And all my close friends who were with me every step of the way, carrying me through the toughest time of my life. I also want to thank every sponsor. I know Mike's going to thank everybody, but every sponsor, every volunteer, everybody who was here since 9 o'clock this morning, every donor, and everyone who made tonight possible. So much of what you see and hear was donated, which means 100% of the funds raised tonight are going directly to families who are in the fight right now. And I want to give a special thank you to Steve Taverner. I hate to admit it, but without him, much of this wouldn't happen. Steve worked on this thing every day for the past 6 weeks with me. So thank you, Steve. I'm going to round of applause, Steve Taverner. And there's somebody else that has been with me for a while, but over the past couple of years, even through some things that he was going through, he was there for me. And when I came up with this idea and I said to him, "What do you think?" He's like, "All right, let's come up with a date." And he didn't stop there. He did so much for this event. And that's one of my good friends, Majority Leader John Rubo. so being told you have cancer changes your life in a second. Your mind goes straight to your wife, your children, and the moments you think you may miss and the memories you may never get to make. You know, through that, I never thought about myself, not once, I just thought about them. But one day I looked at, it was Nico, it wasn't you, sorry, but I looked in Nico's eyes and I made a commitment to myself that my boys were never, ever going to see me give up. That maybe this fight was going to take me, I don't know, the doctors weren't saying great things, right, Jim? I really didn't know what was going to happen. But whether it did or didn't, I knew that my boys were going to have a front row seat to one hell of a fight. Vinny told me not too long ago, what stood out to him most was that I never looked like I was in pain. And the truth was, I was in a lot of pain. Just so you know. But I made a choice. I chose to show my boys strength before weakness and courage before fear. Not because I wasn't scared, not because I wasn't hurting, but because I never wanted them to remember me broken. I wanted them to remember me standing and fighting for them. Speaking of strength, my wife Jamie, you know, give her a round of applause. You know, I was in the emergency room with my friend Billy. Is Cal here? Cal here still? Anyway, I was with Billy Celestino in the emergency room. Jamie forced me to go because I had pain in my side for a couple months and kept thinking it was something to the gym. Thank you for making me go. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I was still there, and Jamie was calling me, and I couldn't get myself to answer the phone. And Billy said, "You got it. Answer the phone." And I said, because I knew with just a few words, I was going to turn my family's life absolutely upside down. But what happened after I told Jamie was action. She didn't fall apart. She went to work. She made calls. She set up appointments. You know, people say, "Oh, you're so strong," but they didn't see what she saw. They didn't see the nights. They didn't see her holding me together when honestly I was falling apart. She'd rub my bald head and tell me everything was going to be all right. But she made sure our boys never skipped a beat. Their schedules, their lives, their stability, all while working full-time and taking care of me through 6 surgeries and months of treatment in a single year. If you're ever unlucky enough to go through something that tries to take absolutely everything from you, I hope you are lucky enough to have a warrior like Jamie in your corner. Baby, I love you. So, Vinny's Promise. Vinny's Promise, one night while I was saying my prayers, I made a promise to God. You ever get in a bad situation? This happened to me once when I was on an airplane. I promised everything in the world, and I did nothing. I had a really bad flight. Anyway, I did make a promise, and I made a promise to God, and I said, "Lord, if you spare me, I will use anything in my toolbox, any stage that I have, any platform that I have to do something, to attempt to change somebody's life, an attempt to help someone." And I held on to that promise. And at night, when I closed my eyes and tried to sleep, and cancer gets rough at night, you know, it comes for a lot of things, and it comes for your mind too. But I would picture standing here with all of you. It's a true story. Helping families, cancer-free, doing something bigger than myself. And tonight, because of all of you, my promise that I made became a promise kept, and my dream became a reality. But as much as I've spoken about myself, this isn't about me. This is about these families. It's about a 7-year-old girl who dreams of becoming a doctor, Lena. It's a 10-year-old boy who just wants to run and catch a football again. A teenage boy and his family just trying to get back on their feet. And a mother fighting every day while raising a 3-year-old son. To all of you, look around this room. Really look around this room. If you ever thought you were fighting alone, you're not. You have over 600 new friends here fighting right alongside you. Please join me in welcoming some of the strongest people that I have ever met. Jared Pineda Avalez. And I'll end with this tonight. You know, cancer, which we all know, affects everyone, right? So many different people. And when I met with Jared, I met with Leah in City Hall. Came in like a boss too, police escort. They were good. I'm gonna skip that part, so I'm gonna drop it. All right. You know, cancer has no boundaries. It doesn't care about race, color, religion, your status, or your last name. It comes in and it takes what it takes. It takes peace, sleep, certainty. It takes things from families that nobody else can see. And the truth is, these are children. There are children fighting battles they should never have to fight. There are parents carrying burdens they never could have imagined. And that should make us all angry. Not angry enough to quit, angry enough to stand up, angry enough to fight back, angry enough to make sure nobody goes through it alone. Because when life tries to break us, and it does, when fear walks into a home, when a family feels like they have nothing left, that is when people matter most. That is when showing up matters most. And look what you all did tonight. Look what you guys did. This matters more than money, more than words, because hope matters. Love matters. Knowing somebody believes in you matters. So let the world be selfish somewhere else. Let people turn their backs somewhere else, because that is not who we are. Not tonight, not in this city. Tonight, you didn't just come to a benefit, you created a movement. When people are hurting, we show up. When families are drowning, we reach in. When life gets unfair, we fight back. We do not run, we do not hide, we do not leave anyone behind. And if you remember one thing from tonight, remember this: the strongest people in the world, not the ones who never hurt. They're the ones who hurt and still find a way to stand beside someone else. That's what happened tonight. So when these families leave here tonight, they leave knowing people believe in them. They leave knowing people are fighting and praying with them. They leave knowing they are not alone. And that is how you fight back. We don't walk away, we don't break, we don't quit on each other, we stand up, we lock arms, and when life tries to knock us to our knees, we don't stay there, we get up and we fight. God bless you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinny. You know, if I could just tell a little anecdotal story that shows really Vinny Spano is just entertaining for less than a minute. You know, about 10 years ago, my family received the same sort of news. And my kid sister was diagnosed with being pretty sick. And it was less than a month. And Vinny came into my office and he said, "Hey Mike," he said, "we need," and I'm gonna do Vinny's voice, he goes, "Ram, we need to do something for your sister." And I said, "Well, what do you think of it?" He goes, "We need to throw a fundraiser. We need to help her so that the financial stress that the family may be going through is alleviated, and that she could focus on those things that she needs to do in order to get better." And I have to say, we, with Vinny's help, actually orchestrated the thing. We threw probably one of the largest fundraisers in the northwest section of the city of Yonkers, and it was an enormous success. So what I want to tell you is, what I want to say to all of you is this. Vinny's Promise may have been cultivated, it may have been originated through his illness, but I'm going to tell you, within Vinny, it has always been within him to deliver for those who are in need. So I just want to say thank you, Ben. Love you, brother. And this is an amazing thing that you did here tonight.
So everybody knows, with everyone's help here tonight, I was just informed that we raised over $100,000. 100% of that money is going to these families.